Alrighty folks, welcome back to another video. If you are here for gaming content today, get lost, we're not doing that today. Though we are going to talk about gaming in some way, shape, or form here. So I want to discuss this because this is something I wish I would have known back then. It's something that I regret as somebody who's 27 years old today. So this is mostly going to be for the people who are like 16 and under, I would say. The people who don't have a job or don't have their own money, right? If you come from money, this might be different for you. But when it comes to like people like myself, who my parents, they never had money. I never asked them for money, and I knew not to ask them because they didn't have it. If you're someone like myself and you didn't work either, so you didn't have your own money, this is a suggestion for you. So I don't know about anybody else, but I was outside every day and I was also gaming every day, okay? I had a Nintendo DS, we had a Wii, and eventually we sold like most of that stuff. Huge regret, another story for another day. But eventually we got our own PS3, me and my brother. And I got into Black Ops 2 at the time. My friends had Black Ops 1 and then Black Ops 2 had just come out. Zombies was hot. We loved playing it at our friends' houses. So we bought the PS3 and we got, you know, Call of Duty. We also had like Minecraft, and then my older brother bought us some games for like my birthday. So I had Oblivion. I ended up getting Skyrim. Another story. But at that age, see, I've seen people on YouTube, right, make it on YouTube, like blow up, become huge at that age. And the difference between me and that person was simply that I was consuming the game, but I wasn't using it to produce. Now, you probably heard this whole story before, consumption versus production, right? You need to be a producer, not a consumer. But just hear me out here, because I feel like a lot of young people are not realizing that this is the position that they're in. So as a kid, we're watching all of this content, right? We're watching, like me, I grew up in the Black Ops 2 era, right? Trick shotting. So I watched all this stuff on trick shotting. And in my free time, when I was playing games like all summer for like 2 to 3 years, I was doing nothing but playing and trick shotting myself. The problem is I had a PS3 that was ultimately extremely slow. I had no idea how to use computers. I was completely brain dead when it came to computers. I didn't know anything about the recording side, the producing side. But the truth is, if you do something every day like that, I loved to trick shot, right? If I had just developed the mindset or had somebody open up the idea to me of maybe going to get a job, or for Christmas and birthday gifts, asking for things that would allow me to record and produce gameplay and put it online, I'm already playing, right? All day, spending hours and hours a day playing, sometimes 12 plus hours a day playing, but I'm not producing anything. Why wouldn't you just record? If you could, if you were open to this idea, if you knew about it, why wouldn't you just record and produce that stuff and then potentially turn it into something bigger, since you're already doing it and you love to do it, right? This whole, the title of this video is gonna probably be something along the lines of, oh, don't turn your hobby into a career, you'll hate it. That is such unbelievable amounts of bullshit right there. If you love to do something, it shouldn't feel like work, and if you can make money from it, even better. So when I was younger and I was playing all these games, looking back, I wish when I was 15, 16, I would have went and got a freaking job, because I knew my parents didn't have the money to buy me recording equipment or buy me a computer or any of that stuff. So I was stuck with the PS3 I had. I could have made it work. Quality would have been terrible, but just the introduction to producing something would have been absolutely, you know, mind-opening and game-changing for me at that age. Something else I noticed too was that, like, it sounds crazy, but I'm going to break it down here. If anybody ever played those games, those FPS games, FPS is extremely important, connection is important, all of those things, right? At a PlayStation that was always overheating and slow, there was, you know, horrible frames per second. If I had just been able to buy a PC back then, or if I had been able to upgrade to the next console or whatever it was, I would have had better frame rates and stuff like that. And that makes all the difference when it comes to like potentially becoming a pro player or something like that. The point I'm trying to make here is, if you have access to the resources, it becomes a lot easier to be successful. Now, lack of resources, you could go to like Ronaldo, right? He grew up kicking around like a ball of tape, right? He didn't have the resources. But as it went on, as time went on, the more resources that he acquired, the better opportunities that he had. And that's the message I want to send to you today. If you are young and you don't have the resources to do something like this, find a way to make it happen. Go cut grass. If you're old enough, go get a job, whatever it is. Save every penny. You're not going to have, you know, you're not going to have bills. You're going to have plenty of time. Take half the time that you play games, go work. Go cut grass for the neighbor. Go shovel snow. Whatever it is, do something for your parents, right? You could ask them for allowance or whatever, right? My parents were not doing allowance. That was expected of us. I think that stuff's expected of most kids these days. Well, I don't know. Kids are pretty entitled these days. No offense. But this is the point I'm trying to make, is there are a million ways out there that you could go pursue something, right? And take the money that you get from that and pour it into whatever your hobby is. Gaming, whether it's that or like making fishing content or making sports content or whatever it is, right? You could pour that money into getting yourself better resources to produce for whatever that hobby is. This is something that did not develop in me probably until like 2 years ago, maybe even less than 2 years ago, and I'm 27. Now I know it's hard for a young mind like most of the people who probably watch my videos. It's hard for a young mind to grasp these concepts. Me, myself, if somebody had explained this to me at your age, I would have never been able to grasp it. But if this even has the thought churning for you, if you haven't left the video yet, if this just has something clicking for you right now, try to take what I'm saying and apply it. Because the younger you start, the better. I wish so badly that at my age, I cared less about grades. Not that grades don't matter, but I think that, I think if you get through high school, I think that that's like a good baseline education. Past that, unless you have like a direct path to your career and that's what you want to do, something related to that, like doctor or whatever, and you have to go get a degree, that's one thing. But me, I focused so heavily on my grades all the way till 8th grade, until I got the PS3, really. I cared so much about my grades. If I didn't get 100% on something, I was bawling, crying, breaking down. I used to pull out my hair. I used to pull out my eyebrows, guys, my eyelashes. My sister used to give me like lash grower because I would literally, I was bald right here. I literally, like, lack of a better word, I looked like I had cancer. Not even gonna lie. I was bald here, and I was starting to pull out my hair, which was terrible. It was anxiety from not getting the grades that I thought I had to get, because that was the only thing I was supposed to like take really seriously, right? Like that I had to get A's. Can you just like, I think about it sometimes. I don't blame my parents, but my mom always pushed us that way. Like, you have to get good grades so you can go to college, blah, blah, blah. If it had been different, right? If she had shifted it to whatever you love, take it as seriously as possible, I would have done that with gaming. And I would have probably laid off the school stuff, because I would have felt more stress about being good or producing good stuff from what I was doing there than, having to produce good grades in school. This is just something that, I think parents especially, and this is something that I'm gonna try to make clear to my kids, when it comes to your path in life, if there's something you are truly passionate about, nothing else should matter, right? If you're in high school, let's say, and you know for a fact you want to stream for a career, leave high school, or at least just get by at the bare minimum. There's nothing wrong with that. There are plenty of people who go to college and get the bare minimum just to get their degree, right? So many people do it. If it's something you don't want to do, something you don't care about, I still think that like a high school degree is important, just as like a backup, because you need to be somewhat competent. You need to understand things. You see videos of these freaking kids these days, they don't even know what state they live in. It's crazy. But as long as you have like a base level of education and you understand how to talk and you can laugh with people and you're sociable and stuff like that, those will go a whole lot farther than knowing Pythagorean theorem. No one gives a shit about that anymore. The computers do it. So this is the message. All right, I know I've said this a million times. If you're young, if you're trying to figure out what the heck is going on in the world, yes, be a kid, okay? Enjoy being a kid. But if you can learn a skill or learn to produce something at the same time, and you put in work to earn that, right? You put in work at a job so you can take that money to buy more resources, a camera, a phone, whatever it is that you need to record, an Elgato so you can record gameplay, whatever it is, do that, man. You will learn so much if you do that. I promise you, it will be so worth it. Even if it is the worst job in the world, it's McDonald's. Who gives a shit? 10 years later, it's going to work so many wonders for you. You're going to look back and go, thank goodness I worked at McDonald's. Thank you. It was a blessing in disguise. I hope someone out there grasps what I'm saying in this video. I really do, because I mean it with all my heart. It is so important to get ahead early if you can. If you even feel any of the gears turning after watching this video, go act on it. Do something to push yourself to that next level, to take the next step towards it. Because, man, I just take it from somebody who's 27. I wish I had started so long ago, 10 years ago, minimum. I wish I was after this at 16, but it just didn't happen for me. That's why I'm making this video. Hopefully it'll reach somebody who's younger, or even if you're my age and these gears weren't turning yet, hopefully they're turning now, because God, I can't stress how important that is. All right, that's going to be it for today. I'll see you guys in tomorrow's video. Peace.